Hello, guys. Great to have you here. So I have a video from Officer Tatum that says Officer Tatum slams Red Pill community for destroying young men. Guys, let's see what the video is all about.
But a lot of young men, and I've seen it on these shows, they tell young men, go out, get with all these women, run it up, and do all these things. Women aren't, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't tell a young man that. It's not conducive for a young man's growth to be a hoe. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Get the merch link in the description section. It's funny, I was at Jason Aldean's concert last night, and people were loving this shirt. They were loving this shirt. It was so much attention towards the shirt. I was like, why don't I wear this shirt more? I didn't think that people would like this as much as some of the other ones, but people love this shirt. And I went to a coffee place today, to be honest. I was a little nervous, but the young lady was so respectful. She was so awesome, and I gave her an incredible tip because they shared a tip in the whole coffee place. So I gave her a really, really good tip. But I was wondering, because I know they liberal in there, if they saw this, would they not want to serve me? Because I was going to go viral if they did. But anyway, get you one of these shirts, Tatum Store. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. I think you should date within your maturity. And I know my wife is on the chat. I seen her. Hey, baby. You gotta date within your maturity. You and him may be on the same level, even though it's a difference of ages. And I would hate for him to be listening to guys online and not you.
Listen to the guys online.
Him to listen to, like, the people that we mentioned at the beginning of the show that tell a young man is that she has no value at 28. She been ran through, and it's like, no, don't really take that. Talk to her, figure out what her story is, and that may be the greatest connection you've had, and y'all live to be married for 45 years. And you may only have 2 kids. You're in the window where you can have plenty of kids. So people shouldn't try to think of that too soon. It's not worth it. I just saw a woman on Instagram. Wow. She had 5 kids starting at 38. She had 38, 39, 40. Her last kid was 44 years old. So
Kourtney Kardashian.
That dude ain't mad. Is that dude mad that she's 44 years old having kids? And he ain't mad. His life is happy.
You can have kids, but just to bring it back to this, I mean, so you're saying, why do men seek to date and marry girls way younger than them? But you, pretty recently, you said within 2 years, you dated a guy who was 14 years your senior. So, like, there's 2 parts of this equation. Like, it takes 2 to tango. I think it happens to be the case that there's a decent subset of women that are attracted to older men.
True.
And in the same way that men are attracted to younger women are attracted to older men. And if you look at the average age of marriage, I think men are about 2 years older for the average age of, it's like, I don't know, 30 or 29 for men, 27 for women. So it just happened. And most women typically, I would say, date men that, it might not be an extreme gap, but are 1, 2, 3 years older than them. You typically see that play out. I think it just happens to be the case that men are attracted to younger women, women are attracted to older men. Now, I mean, there's obviously bigger and bigger age gaps that we can talk about, but it's okay when you do it. Like, it's okay for you to date an older guy, but what you're upset that men within your own age group are dating women who are in their 20s.
No.
But you are basically stealing a 45, 44-year-old guy from a woman who's in her 40s. In the same way that a 20-year-old woman is stealing 30-year-old men from you.
She may steal the 23.
I may steal some 23-year-old man,
But women do want older men. I mean, my wife told me when we weren't even dating, but I was interested. She was too young. I was interested in her. We were on a 3-way text message. My friend tried to, he tried to play matchmaker. He didn't tell her I was on the text. And he said, "Oh man, what's up with you and Brandon?" And she was like, "Oh, he's really nice, but I'm looking for a guy that's like 10 years older than me." So my wife was looking for somebody in their 40s. So, but because she didn't stick to that whole thing, she ended up meeting the man of her dreams that happened to be 4 or 5 years younger than her.
Gotcha.
And I was looking, but I'm more attracted to a younger woman, not a woman in her 40s, unless she's in incredible shape. But I didn't stick to that model. I said, I'm gonna go with the woman that matches my life, and that's what I did.
I like that.
Word.
And there's just like, I also don't think with the woman dating an older man, that's like it's still positive about the status of the older man. The narrative, what I think is problematic is that the narrative about the younger women is that there is this knock on women, on older women. Do you see what I mean? It's like, and there's this and there's a narrative about on some of these podcasts that like older women are lower value. So that the point that like a 29-year-old, I feel like I'm the senior citizen, and that's not a net positive for society.
You're not as a human being. We're not talking about your value as a human being. We are talking though. There's just realities when it comes to the dating marketplace. And if we're talking about the dating marketplace and we're having conversations of who is more valuable in the dating marketplace, in the same way that a guy who's 6 feet is probably more valuable on the dating marketplace than the guy who's 5'3", it's just the reality. Like there's all kinds of things that might make you more valuable in the dating marketplace. And as you age, you're just not.
Only for women.
Well, I actually think
it's true though. It's true though, because and I see what people are saying with the podcast. They got to be careful the way they say it. But what the encouragement is for young women to be more serious about their dating when they're younger.
I agree.
Than to play and play and play, and then you're 35 with all this baggage, and then you expect to get a man that's far beyond that. So I get it. So women should understand to a certain degree that you do need to be intentional more in dating.
Yeah, because
not wait till you later.
And I know a lot of girls in my case. We were told, focus on your education. Go get your bachelor's. Go get your master's.
You were sold a lie.
Yeah, and now and so now I'm adding value to myself, but it's a value that I'm told is not valuable.
But you're 29. Somebody's an idiot to think that somehow you don't have value at your age. You're talking about women that may be on the cusp of worrying when they get into their late 30s. That's where women probably should worry, because the likelihood of having children, things like that, become a lot more complicated. 29 years old.
Well, but there's some people in the chat that are
they probably single, but you're a baby compared to life in adulthood. You're a kid. You're not even 30 yet. You still got a long way to go. Some of these immature men may be a little self-conscious about their options or whatever the case may be. They may think that, because she's 29, she slept with all these men, and they get bombarded with that stuff in their mind. Women should never be foolish enough to think that in your 20s that you somehow, these young boys ain't the man for you. You need to get a real man that's mature enough and that understand the value that you have, and that's willing to forgive you for what you've been through, not painting the picture of you amongst all these other women. I'm telling you, the guys that do this online, and I know they hate me, they're single. They're single, and they try to tell they're telling these young men these things, and they're single. They're not qualified, in my opinion, to only have the mic. I think young men should listen to podcasts. They should listen to these men. They should also listen to men who are married. Because it takes a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of maturity, a little bit of growing up as a man to actually officially marry somebody. But you can't these young men can't get bombarded with this, because they start to give up hope, and they look at these women as like damaged goods. Not every woman is sleeping around and getting ran through and have a crazy body count. There are women that do it. Avoid those women. You should be able to have a conversation with a woman and know, your body count is high. Then don't give her another body count. Move on to another woman. But a lot of young men, and I've seen it on these shows, they tell young men, go out, get with all these women, run it up, and do all these things. Women aren't. You shouldn't do that. I wouldn't tell a young man that. It's not conducive for a young man's growth to be a hoe. Just because the difference between men and women. Because women do it and they get shamed for it. Men do it, they get celebrated for it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the world believes. You do not want to be a damaged young man. And you do not want to fall into the trap of being single forever.
Exactly.
Because these young men are going to be single because we just telling them, she's 35, a 28-year-old woman is great for this young man. She got her stuff together. She's mature. Maybe she had a little life. She's over it. She had incredible value, but because she's 28 and he can't have kids with her and can't have her future, he's gonna walk away from that woman and go to a mature 21-year-old and then end up getting a divorce. I hope I'm not ruining your show.
Brandon, thank you.
Alvin Sam donated $500. Mute Brandon.
Is that
Yes.
I really love Brandon in this light. I love how calm, how calculated, how tolerating and respectful, how down to earth he was, dishing out good advice. Like, it's unbelievable, guys. Like, but if you ask me, age doesn't really matter. There's no law to all those things. There's no law to marriage. There's no law to age and settling down. To be honest, you see a 40 years old man that's still gallivanting, going about, having fun, drinking, partying, that is not even matured for marriage. On the other hand, you see a 30 years old man that is fully committed, that has his life together, ready to settle down, ready to build family, commitment, accountability, and all that. So to me, age doesn't really define maturity and marriage. It's all about mindset. It's all about what you really want in marriage and in human. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. See you on the next one. Support your game by watching, liking, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Be at peace with yourself. Peace.